Upbeat, intriguing music starts and then fades to a low background hum. You think you know the story of America? The one with the brave pilgrims, the heroic founding fathers, and the triumphant march of freedom from sea to shining sea? Yeah, that's the Hollywood version. The real story? It's a lot messier, a lot more complicated, and honestly, a lot more interesting. Let's rewind way back before 1776, even before Columbus. This land wasn't empty. It was home to millions of people, with hundreds of distinct nations, complex societies, and sprawling cities. Cahokia, near modern-day St. Louis, was a metropolis bigger than London was at the time, a bustling hub of trade, culture, and power. So the story of America doesn't start with a ship. It starts with the vibrant, diverse civilizations that were already here. Then the ships did come, and what followed wasn't a friendly dinner party like the Thanksgiving myth suggests. It was a collision of worlds. European powers, the Spanish, the French, the English, didn't come here to make friends. They came for God, gold, and glory. And that pursuit kicked off centuries of conflict, disease that wiped out up to 90% of the indigenous population, and the forced removal of people from their ancestral lands. This isn't just a sad side note. It's the foundational event upon which the United States was built. Now let's talk about 1776 and that beautiful phrase, "All men are created equal." It's one of the most powerful ideas in human history. But at the very moment those words were written, about 1/5 of the population in the colonies was enslaved. Thomas Jefferson, the man who wrote them, owned hundreds of slaves himself. This isn't to cancel the founders, but to understand the nation's central gut-wrenching paradox from day one. The fight for freedom was bankrolled by the profits of bondage. The land of liberty was built on stolen land and with stolen labor. This conflict is the engine of American history. The Civil War wasn't just a fight over states' rights. It was a bloody, brutal reckoning over the question of slavery that had been kicking down the road for almost a century. And even after the Union won, the fight didn't end. Reconstruction, a brief, hopeful period of black political power in the South, was crushed by a violent backlash, leading to a century of Jim Crow, segregation, and systemic terror. But here's the other side of the real story, the part that gives you chills. Every step of the way, people fought back. Enslaved people rebelled, escaped, and created rich cultural traditions in the face of unimaginable brutality. Women, who were treated as second-class citizens, organized and demanded the right to vote. Workers, from the factories of the Gilded Age to the fields of California, unionized and fought for basic dignity and fair wages. The story of America is as much a story of resistance as it is of oppression. The real story of the USA isn't a clean, heroic epic. It's a messy, chaotic, and often brutal family drama. It's a story of breathtaking hypocrisy and incredible ideals, of violent conquest and relentless struggles for justice. And understanding this full, complicated history, the good, the bad, and the ugly, isn't about being unpatriotic. It's the only way we can truly understand who we are, how we got here, and what a more perfect union might actually look like. The real story isn't over. We're still writing it.